Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nairametrics Crypto Webinar. This is Olumide Additional. I'm an investment analyst at Nairametrics. I cover financial markets and across be it world stocks, bonds, commodities, and cryptocurrency. And this is going to be an exciting session on the bias that you understand that crypto is presently trending across the financial markets. You understand that just a few days ago, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, had to put Bitcoin on his bow, and that's just to tell you how cryptocurrency is gaining traction. First of all, let me take you a background to why Nairametrics brought this program to you guys. Don't forget that about a decade ago, some ambitious young programmers brought in a design called virtual currency that was supposed to function as money. And the idea was that they wanted to remove the control of institutions and entities from the role money played. And that was how Bitcoin started. And we could see that in less than a decade, the crypto market grew from less than $1 billion to what we have now at presently close to $1 trillion. And it has virtually change people's lives. That's helped businesses, banks, institutions, and every ecosystem that make up the economy to at one point leverage on what this is about. And the objective of this program is to empower our listeners, readers, loyal readers. I can see some of you guys on the channel. That's good to have you guys, and I assure you that your life will never be the same. I took this decision about 4 years ago, and trust me, in fact, most of my earnings come from crypto. And I want you to guys to understand that we're not just going to be talking about cryptocurrencies. We're going to talk generally about how crypto can add value to your life, and we are starting with the basics. And coming on the show are experts in different fields, and they are particular in this crypto ecosystem where you can gain from what they're going to say. And trust me, they do this for a living, so I'm very sure that you really benefit from them. And along the program, we have an expert, financial expert. Her name is Loretta. She'll be moderating the session. She's going to ask the questions that she believes you guys need to ask. She understands. She's been seeing the trend and questions a lot of people have been asking, and I think she'll be coordinating that session. So I want you guys to take a run, take a zip, chill. You're going to have fun. While the session is going on, you can ask questions, and at the end of the session, we also throw some questions at the panelists so that you guys will have the opportunity to get what you want to. Then also, I want to use the opportunity to understand that this is not, we are not an investment bank or an investment entity. Nairametrics is simply a financial media service that is properly data driven, and we use expert analysis to do our. So we don't give anybody endorsement. We don't give any crypto exchanges endorsement. We have no partnership with any entity. Yes, we have sponsors that like Brito and Quidox that made this program, but want users to understand that we are just independent and we don't have any role to provide such services. So if you want to make it's better you use your judgment of what the things you learn in this program to empower yourself. And also, I also want you guys to use the opportunity to of what you are going to learn here to add value to yourself. Like I said, the blockchain, for example, is a ledger that does better than any accounting system in the world. And you see, even as a security expert, you can also gain a lot, you know. So the thing is that you guys, please be calm, take ease. If you don't understand the point, just I will be on deck to. I will also be among the panelists to answer some of your questions. But I think that's all to say. So I hand over to Loretta Eba to take over. Thank you.
Hi guys, good morning. Good morning. As you can tell, I'm so excited to be here. My name is Loretta Egba, and I'm a financial analyst with Nairametrics, amongst other things. And I would like to officially welcome you guys to Nairametrics webinar on Beginner's Guide to Investing in Cryptocurrencies. Now, if you're here, chances are that you have heard so much about cryptocurrencies, you've heard so much about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of the others. And I mean, they seem to have taken over, particularly following the disruption caused last year by the COVID-19 pandemic and all of the economic challenges that arose as a result of it. For some reason, it appears that cryptocurrencies across the world, investors have seen it as either a safe haven to, back up their monies against, the limitations of our regular currencies, or there's probably a lot of money to be made in cryptos, and we all kind of need to join the bandwagon right now. Now, I don't know enough about cryptocurrencies to answer your questions, but I can tell that there are opportunities there that we'll be exposed to, particularly after this session. Yeah, so I'm joined by some experts. These people have made money from cryptos, they have lost money in cryptos, and they are the ones that are going to be shedding light on how we're going to invest and all we need to know about it pretty much. So you've already met Olumide Adesina. He's an investment analyst. He's an investment analyst with Nairametrics. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull it out. Yes. So Olumide Adesina is an investment analyst with Nairametrics. So you probably do know him if you know anything about cryptocurrency in Nigeria. Then we are also going to be joined by 𝗧𝗢𝗘𝗠𝗘, right? Sorry, I hope I did not murder your name. And he is the CEO of 𝗧𝗢𝗘𝗠𝗘, all right? Then we have Ezekiel Ojewumi, who is the head of marketing communications at Quidax. We also have Mohammed, who is the advisor and blockchain consultant. I hope you can see it on your screen because I'm trying to pull all of them out. We also have Ekene, who is the marketing and PR strategist at Buffalo Chase. And we finally we have Sheon, and he's a core developer at Polkadot. All right, so we're just going to jump straight right in because we do not have a lot of time, and I'm sure that you guys have so many questions to ask. Like I said, I'm going to be moderating, so I'm just going to be asking questions, and our panelists will be responding to them. So I really love this to be engaging, particularly because we've heard so much buzzword. We've heard about blockchain, we've heard about wallets, and for those of us who don't know anything about cryptocurrencies, it just sounds like technical jargon. So I'm going to start from the basics. I would like it to be I like it to be progressive. So we'll start from the very basics. What the hell are cryptocurrencies? What is Bitcoin? Did somebody really just wake up and invent a virtual currency on the internet? Does that mean I can wake up and come up with Loretta coin, Yeah, kind of catchy. Anyway, so yeah, for the foundation, I'd like to really understand what cryptocurrencies are. So why are cryptocurrencies allowed to exist in the first place? Do you just wake up and create something and give it value? And what's the difference between creating cryptos and creating money? So to start that off, we are going to have Mohammed, who's going to explain cryptocurrencies. And of course, the most popular one, Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? How does it work? And yeah, things we need to know. So Mohammed, I'm going to hand over to you. Then afterwards, Ekene will give us a follow-up on that. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, Mohammed. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How about you?
Yeah, I'm excited. I really want to learn how to make money today. So don't mind me.
All right. So I'm 𝗧𝗢𝗣𝗖𝗍𝗓 Mohammed. I'm an angel investor, and I've been in the cryptocurrency space for over 6 years now. So I'm going to be going through what cryptocurrency is, what Bitcoin is, what altcoin is, the advantages and the disadvantages, and all the basic things you need to know about cryptocurrency. So starting with Bitcoin, which is the most popular cryptocurrency that everybody knows. Bitcoin is just a digital currency which allows people to send and receive money from any part of the world. And the transaction going on Bitcoin is recorded on something known as blockchain. The blockchain is just a ledger which is used to record the outgoing and the incoming transaction on Bitcoin. So you hear people saying, I have a blockchain wallet, I have a blockchain, this one down on blockchain. But the main essence of the blockchain is just to store and record the transactions going on the Bitcoin network. So the Bitcoin itself was created by a Japanese man known as Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009. And this man has been anonymous ever since then. And one of the main reasons why this man created Bitcoin then was because he said that he wants to remove the intermediary that is in the traditional financial system. For example, I have a friend in the US now that I want to send money to. I have to go to the bank first, tell the bank manager, the person at the counter that, okay, I want to send money to my friend. They ask me the amount. I have to go through all those processes. So it's the intermediary process there. That's one of the things that made this man think of the cryptocurrency, that, okay, you should be able to send money to anybody in any part of the world from the convenience of your house. Then apart from that, you notice that, okay, you keep $1 million in your bank account in this in a fixed deposit. At the end of the year, you are getting maybe 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira, and the bank has used the money to work throughout the year. So the financial institution, the traditional financial institution, they've been cheating everybody. Apart from that, even if you do not put it in fixed deposit, you might meet your money at maybe 980 something thousand, 990 something thousand. They'll tell you that, okay, they've removed the bank maintenance charges, the card charges and everything. So all these things was one of the things that made the Japanese man then to think of something that is going to be much more effective and beneficial to everybody in the world. So which made him create what is known as Bitcoin today. And to be honest, the Bitcoin has actually helped a lot of people. It has been one of the buzzing things in the world. It's actually going to still be the next thing that we are going to see, because less than 1% of the world population still know about Bitcoin. So everybody that is in this webinar today, you are still an early investor. Don't think we are probably late in maybe investing in cryptocurrency, investing in Bitcoin and the likes. Then what I would like to talk about again is something known as altcoin. Normally hear people talk about Ripple, talk about Ethereum and the likes. All those other coins that are not known as Bitcoin, they are known as altcoin. And apart from Bitcoin, we have over 6,700 cryptocurrencies in the market, which you can invest in. So if you think that, okay, Bitcoin has risen from maybe 3,700 in March to over 30K this January, that maybe you are scared of investing in Bitcoin, you can invest in all these other alternative coins known as altcoin. Most of them, they are still in their early stages. And it's just normal companies, individuals that issue out these altcoin. For example, I own a company now, maybe I'm producing cars like Tesla now, for example. I can decide to issue out my shares to be publicly traded. But if I issue it out, it might be limited to some certain people in the world. Like if you have the Facebook shares, maybe it's listed on NYSE now, Nigerians might not be able to access it. Maybe there might be restrictions and everything. But if you decide to tokenize your shares, for example, Tesla tokenizing their shares now, anybody in the world can basically buy the Tesla shares. So me in Nigeria now, if I create a company that I want people to invest in, instead of going to the Nigerian stock exchange markets to list it, I can just tokenize my company and go to an exchange and list it. And anywhere and anybody in any part of the world will be able to invest in my company by buying Bitcoin and buying my company shares. So as long as my company is growing and is gaining much more traction and the value of the coin is going up, anybody that invested in the altcoin that I created is definitely going to be making money too. We see that in 2018, Facebook said they wanted to create their own coin known as the Libra coin, but they had some issues with SEC then. So if you're in Nigeria, you can just invest directly in Facebook through the Libra coin. All you have to do is just get your Naira, go to any peer-to-peer merchant or Google online where you can buy Bitcoin in Nigeria. We have a lot of places where you can buy Bitcoin. We have Binance, we have Remitano, we have Paxful, we have Crypto.com and the likes. So whenever you buy your Bitcoin, you can just deposit it on the exchange where this Libra is listed in. And immediately you buy Libra, you keep it. As long as Facebook keeps making money and they keep growing, you are going to be getting much more revenue from what you invested in. Then I would like to talk about the various advantages of cryptocurrency, why cryptocurrency is actually different from the normal fiat currency. Fiat currency is the normal Naira, dollars, and euro that we are all holding. But crypto has a lot of advantages over these fiat currency, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a maximum supply of 21 million. So after we exceed the 21 million, no other Bitcoin can be minted. And as you all know, the lesser the supply for something, the higher the value for it. Unlike the financial crisis that happened last year in the US during the COVID-19, when US was printing a lot of dollars and giving it to their citizens in form of helping them and the likes. Bitcoin, we can't have more than 21 million supply, and the demand keeps growing every time. Just imagine that 2% of the world knows about Bitcoin now from the 1%. That means you're having double the number of people that are presently in the crypto space entering into the cryptocurrency market. And the demand is going to be much more than what you are presently seeing now. So I believe cryptocurrency still has a long way to go. Then apart from that, another advantage of Bitcoin is the power of autonomy, which is removing that intermediary from carrying out a transaction. No more third party involved in your transaction or anything. Then the elimination of bank charges as well. If you want to send out $1 billion now to anybody in any part of the world, you won't spend less than 50 naira or 100 naira in terms of transaction fee to send it. Whereas if you want to send such a huge amount of money, $1 billion to maybe any part of the world, the bank, EFCC, everybody will even start looking for you up and down that who is carrying out such amount and such huge amount of transaction or something. Then we have the advantage of accessibility too. Presently now, if you want to buy dollars in the bank is not going to give it to you because of the directives they've gotten from the Central Bank of Nigeria, because of the way Naira is depreciating and everything. But unlike Bitcoin, Bitcoin is readily available. As long as you have your Naira with you, you can just approach any vendor, any peer-to-peer merchant, any websites that they sell, any accredited websites whereby they sell Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. We actually have a lot of them that you can buy Bitcoin from. So the accessibility to is a great advantage over the dollars, the fiat currency that we have. Then another thing I would like to talk about is the discretion. When it comes to cryptocurrency, the discretion is much more higher than the fiat currency. Nobody knows about the transaction you are carrying out. I can decide to send $1 to Olumide now during this Zoom call, and nobody is not going to leave any footprint anywhere, except I decide to maybe publish the transaction online that, okay, this is the transaction I sent to Olumide. Unlike you going to the bank and sending money to Olumide now, the bank is going to keep a record of the transaction you've done and everything. Definitely, crypto too keeps a transaction of everything that is happening on the blockchain, but nobody can identify or can pinpoint you to that particular transaction, because what is just going to be displayed on the blockchain is just a string of numbers and alphabets. It's not as if the blockchain will record the particular transaction as Mo sending money to Olumide, unlike what is happening in the bank that, okay, all the information is actually there. Then we have the easier international trade again. I have friends in China that I normally buy things from. Instead of going to the bank to buy dollars at a very expensive rate, most of them are now accepting cryptocurrency, and especially Bitcoin. I can just decide to send Bitcoin to them at a much lower fee. If I want to send $100 to somebody now, I will use less than $1 to send a particular transaction to the person outside Nigeria. So the accessibility and the easier international trade again is actually a very good advantage of cryptocurrency in general. Then we have the advantage of strong security as well. The blockchain is decentralized in the sense that nobody has a complete power over it. Today now, the Nigerian government can decide that, okay, they want to devalue Naira, they want to do this to Naira, they want to do that to Naira. But unlike blockchain, no single entity has power over the entire system. So nobody can actually control the price of the cryptocurrency or the Bitcoin or anything. The price is actually driven by demand and supply. The more the demand, the lesser the supply, the higher the price. That's how it basically works. Then everything that has advantages has its own disadvantages too. So we have a few disadvantages of cryptocurrency in general. And one of the disadvantages is the high price volatility. If you buy Bitcoin as at March 2020, that's around 8 to 9 months ago. Bitcoin then was around maybe 1.5 million. But as at today now, Bitcoin is 17 million naira. I don't believe any investment gave that kind of returns in the last 8 to 9 months in the whole world. No investment gave such high returns. But at the same time, the way Bitcoin came from 1.5 million to over 17 million in less than 8 to 9 months, the same way it can also go down. So people should be aware of the high volatility in the cryptocurrency space. But the good thing about it is that your Bitcoin is not reducing. If you buy one Bitcoin now, as a March that it came to, as a March 2020, at the rate of $3,700, that it is now presently 35K now. Your one Bitcoin is still your one Bitcoin. Even if Bitcoin falls to $100, you only lose in the cryptocurrency industry when you sell. So as long as you don't sell your cryptocurrency, you don't lose. We have people in 2017 that bought Bitcoin at the rate of $20,000. And since that since 2017, Bitcoin has been declining. It came all the way down to 3K. So a lot of people were shouting that they've lost their money and the likes, but we can see that towards the end of 2019, like beginning of 2020, the Bitcoin that dropped from 20K to around 3K came back up to over $40,000. So the only way you can lose in the crypto space is when you sell. But if you don't sell your cryptocurrency, your one Bitcoin is still your one Bitcoin. Then another disadvantage we have again is the no chargeback or refund. As long as the transaction has been confirmed on the blockchain, if I send Bitcoin now to Lumide, for example, and the transaction has been confirmed on the blockchain, there's no way in which I can reverse it. Or if I mistakenly send the Bitcoin to a wrong wallet address or to a wrong individual, there's no way I can maybe call somebody, maybe call my bank manager now, or call the customer support at the bank that, okay, they should quickly help me reverse the transaction, or they should quickly help me block the transaction. That is not possible in blockchain and cryptocurrency. So you have to have a sense of responsibility if you know that, okay, you want to join this space. Then another disadvantage you have is the loss of wallets. If you should misplace the wallet in which you store your cryptocurrency and you don't have something known as your private key, your private key is just basically 12 strings of alphabet that is given to you whenever you want to open a blockchain wallet. So these 12 strings of alphabet, it can just be maybe yam, school, house. It will just be like 12 different words that will be given to you that anywhere you are, you can retrieve your crypto back, even though you don't have the wallet with you. So even if you misplace your phone, as long as you have the 12 string of the 12 string of alphabet, these 12 strings of words given to you, you can retrieve your crypto back to any wallet of your choice. So every individual that is entering the crypto space, make sure that you save your 12 string of alphabets given to you whenever you are opening a blockchain wallet or a crypto wallet. I have friends calling me for the past few weeks now that they bought Bitcoin in 2019. Now they've seen that it has gone to 35K, 36K and the likes, and they want to withdraw their money, but they've forgotten their password and they don't have their 12-seed recovery phrase. I just told them that there's nothing you can do because that's one of the advantages of cryptocurrency, and as well as disadvantages, the security is there. Nobody can get into it, and you yourself, you won't be able to get into it if you don't have the 12-seed phrase. So as you are opening the wallet, make sure that you are copying it and keeping it safely in a place whereby you know that anytime you can access it. Then when it comes to crypto in general, anybody can decide to create a coin. As I am now, I can decide to create my own coin known as Mohammed Coin. But the most important thing is that before I create the coin, I must make sure that it has a use case. We have a lot of cryptocurrency for different purposes. We have one known as Bit-in. That one, if you want to travel to any part of the world, you can use it to like book for hotel accommodation. And if you use that particular cryptocurrency now to book for your accommodation during your vacation, you're going to get a 20% discount in any hotel that you are checking into. So I'm going to Dubai, for example. I want to book my hotel. Instead of paying 100,000 naira per night using my naira or using my dollars, I can decide to use that company's cryptocurrency, and I'll be paying 80,000 naira with a 20% discount for them. So imagine me spending 5 days in Dubai, that I've already saved close to like 100,000 naira because I'm using that particular cryptocurrency to pay. So the most important thing to have at the back of your mind first is the use case. Then anybody that wants to invest in any cryptocurrency, you have to read something known as the white paper. The white paper is the document that tells potential investors of everything about the project you want to invest in. So if I decide to create a coin now, I have to publish the white paper of the coin. So the white paper is what anybody around the world will have access to. They are going to read the vision, my vision, my mission, anything I want to achieve, the purpose of creating the cryptocurrency, the roadmap in which the cryptocurrency is going to develop, then the adoption in which I'm going to make sure that, okay, this coin is not just going to be a useless coin. Because out of the over 6,700 cryptocurrency we have in the market, there are some coins known as shit coin. Those coins, they don't have any use case at all. So
okay, Mohammed, you've touched on so much. So let's just take it a step backwards because I already have so many questions, and I'm sure many of our participants have questions as well. Please, if you have questions, you can send them to the Q&A box, and then we'll come back. So Mohammed will come back to take some of these, but there are some things we need to shed light on at the foundation. So we're going to take it a step backward a little bit. Thank you so much for all you said. Ekene, could you please shed some more light about the foundation? So now I've learned, there's security with Bitcoin. I've seen that, somebody created it and we don't know who the person is. You can also create yours. We have only, 21 million? And yes. I don't know how many we have left. So just a little bit back to the foundation, because I'm hearing wallets and I'm starting to hear some of the complicated things that I don't know about. So before we get to that point, can you just explain briefly? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Loretta. I'm Ekene, the Public Relations Officer at Buffalo Chase. I would like us to go back to the concept of money, because Bitcoin here has changed the way we perceive money. So first of all, money is an exchange of value. Whenever you have to pay for services, you use money. And we see that money has changed from the way it was to what it is now. At some point, it was gold that was used, but gold has its own limitation because it was difficult for people to carry gold around. And it was also difficult for people to for you to divide gold anytime you make a purchase. So then came the existence of fiat currency. So as it is now, we have seen the limitation that fiat currency has. It gives a central system total control. Like in the case of 𝗧𝗢𝗘𝗠𝗘s, we saw when the central government freeze some accounts, though sometimes they can freeze some accounts for some good intentions, but they have that autonomous power to freeze an account. And when there is an absolute power, sometimes you can do some things out of your own selfish reasons. There comes corruption at times. So there came the birth of Bitcoin. Bitcoin gives us that control over our funds. You don't need a third party to make any transaction. I don't need to convert my money from naira to dollar to make international transaction. It has changed money, the way we see money. So Bitcoin is built on, like what Mo has said. He has actually touched every area. I just want to talk about how money has changed to to what we have it now, that's Bitcoin. So I would like to share my slide on what is Bitcoin and the technology that Bitcoin was built on. So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency that is not controlled by a central system. So you don't need anyone to verify an account or a payment. You just send it to the person. It's a peer-to-peer transaction, no third party involved. Bitcoin is built on a technology that we have heard, blockchain. Blockchain is simply a record-keeping technology that stores information all at once. It makes it very difficult for you to alter a transaction or change a transaction. So that's the most beautiful thing about Bitcoin and blockchain. You can't do double spending. In the case of digital transfer, you can't do digital double spending when you're sending Bitcoin. When you've sent it, that's gone from your wallet. Bitcoin versus fiat currency. It requires low transaction fee, regardless of the amount. I want to really talk about the transaction fee, and it takes minutes to make a transaction, regardless of the amount of Bitcoin you'll be sending to an individual. It's the transaction is very minute compared to when you're sending each sum of money. Compared to when you're sending each sum of money, you have to pay some certain rate of charges. But with Bitcoin, it's always flat. It's always flat, and it takes minutes for confirmation. Unlike when you're sending money to someone outside Nigeria, you have to confirm, use financial services companies to do your transaction. But Bitcoin, that you've cut this any third party off from that transaction. How can one get Bitcoin? You can actually get Bitcoin you can actually buy Bitcoin with your fiat currency. Let's say you want to buy Bitcoin, you can buy Bitcoin from P2P exchanges like Luno and the rest. You buy Bitcoin with fiat currency, maybe with Naira or with USD, or you can exchange goods or services for Bitcoin. If you want to, there are some companies now that accept Bitcoin as a mode of payment. Also, you can trade. You can trade on exchanges where you use USD. Most times exchanges use USD, Euro, most times USD and Euro. You can trade with USD, probably convert your Naira to USD on the same exchange like Binance. You can transfer, you can change your Naira to USD, then convert it to BTC if you want to get your BTC. And also mining is pretty much sophisticated. It's using computational puzzle to create a new Bitcoin. How can you get Bitcoin? By simply installing wallet with your mobile phone. Send your Bitcoin public address to receive any money in the world. Like earlier said, there are thousands of cryptocurrency, and all these cryptocurrencies, they have their peculiarity. Like Bitcoin is basically for goods and services exchange, to exchange for value. So Ethereum, for example, is a smart contract. Smart contract simply means contracts built on blockchain technology, and smart contracts allows or prevents breach of contracts. It doesn't, when you go into a contract with someone on a blockchain technology, you can't go back to not fulfilling your part of contract. The minute it trigger, it's a self-executing contract. So you can't just breach your contracts on Ethereum blockchain. And also there are several kinds of cryptocurrency with their peculiarity, like Monero. Monero is purely anonymous. The users are concealed. The user's identity are purely concealed. And smart contracts, instant coins, transactions rate are faster. So there are also exchange coins, like native coins of an exchange, like Binance, for example, as BNB. That's their native coin. And also FTT. FTT is the native coin of FTS. So there are other, hold on, please. So these are the basics of blockchain when one wants to start investing or learning cryptocurrency, blockchain, and Bitcoin. I know that learning this would enable one going forward. Then one can invest in education, learning how to trade, and also keeping your crypto wallet address is very secured. I would also advise one to endeavor not to use your email, trading email, in different signups. Keep your email safe and your wallet password safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ekene. You've already touched on some points going forward in terms of how to start the process. So how do you start investing in cryptocurrencies, particularly Bitcoin, since it's the best right now? And so we're just going to quickly move to 𝗧𝗢𝗘𝗠𝗘, who is going to basically explain the process. So give us a walkthrough. How do we start investing? How do we open an account? How do we transfer cryptocurrencies to other people? How can we protect our assets? So just a step-by-step procedure on, now I'm ready to invest in Bitcoins. How do I start? 𝗧𝗢𝗘𝗠𝗘, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Unfortunately, I'm not going to turn on my camera, but I will be able to explain about the wallet system and security that has to do with wallets. So I'll start by saying that it's important that we all realize the purpose behind Bitcoin, why Bitcoin was created. So people have different definitions of why Bitcoin was created, but if you look at the white paper that detailed the purpose behind Bitcoin, you realize one thing, that Bitcoin was created to give the user power. Okay, and this has been a much debated issue for a long time. People wanted to have control over the medium of exchange they use, which in this case is money. Okay, people do not want a situation. People were tired of a situation whereby institutions and individuals could manipulate the value of money, and this became more pronounced during the crash that happened in 2008, 2007, and it motivated Satoshi Nakamoto, all right, to develop this protocol, which for the first time is at the moment trying to, should I say, nearly solve the issue that we are having currently with the fiat currency, which is money we're used to, the naira, the dollar, But I must mention here that in spite of the success of Bitcoin, Bitcoin still has its own challenges. all right, while while enthusiasts like ourselves are working, day in and day out to solve the challenges with Bitcoin. We must remember that every time there is a new invention, okay, it also creates a new problem. So let's look at something, talking about the idea of freedom, the idea of control. Anything that has to do with value, control is a key subject to look at. So if, for example, today you have ₦1,000,000, all right, you're not just going to drop that money in front of your house or drop it just anywhere, all right? You're going to think carefully and say, hey, where can I drop this money, okay, and ensure that it is safe, it is fully under my control, meaning that even if I'm not there, all right, I know for a fact that it's going to be, rock bottom work for anybody to access it, all right? Now, that's exactly what Bitcoin try to do, all right? That we have control. Now, that's a big issue because if you have 1 billion naira, for example, you can't keep it in your house. If you keep it in your house, you even be scared, and that's why the idea of banks came in, where you can know that, oh, no matter what, even if a bank is robbed, I mean, it's not your business. Anytime you want to take your money, you don't even care if the bank was robbed or not, you can always access your money. So the bank over time, over the years, has evolved up to the point that irrespective of what happens, right, in a way, okay, you're guaranteed that, okay, you can still access your money, except in some very worse situations, which seldom happens. Now with Bitcoin, all right, you are in charge of the protection of your money. That is a very, very big issue. And I mean, we've seen people lose millions of dollars because they had it in Bitcoin and they didn't know how delicate, okay, your wallet could be. And so I tell people that before you get into Bitcoin, you may want to understand a little bit of how the wallet works, all right? And not just understanding how to create a wallet, but understanding how to protect your money in the wallet. Because if your money gets lost, okay, in Bitcoin, there's nobody to meet because you are your bank, all right? So there's no bitcoin.com you write to, there's no support at bitcoin.com, there's no phone number to call, all right? There's no email address, okay? There's no blog you can write. When it's gone, it's gone, all right? So I tell beginners that you might not go into the, the technical way of creating or securing your funds, okay, your wallets, like, paper wallets, seed phrase, and the likes. I rather recommend that you might start by, creating a wallet in renowned and, trusted, wallet platforms, okay? For example, blockchain.com is a very trusted platform. Now, if you create an account there, automatically it's created a wallet for you. But for example, while you're creating your wallet, okay, some require, some would give you access to some certain things. In some cases, like blockchain would give you like a wallet ID or seed phrase where you can always recover your fund, okay? Now, please try to save that very carefully and don't even try to save it in the computer. Right, usually the advice, or save it in the paper somewhere and you print it out. You ensure that, because if anybody have access to the seed phrase, I mean, you can access your money anywhere. It's just like if somebody has access to your email and password, you can log into your Gmail from any computer, from any internet connection anywhere in the world. All right, but most importantly, all right, after saving your seed phrase carefully, the next thing I advise is that ensure that you are using the 2FA. 2FA means second factor authentication. All right. In most cases, most wallets provide things like, SMS authentication, email authentication, and in some cases, a third-party authentication like Google authentication. Okay. Please ensure that you set up all your authentications, all right, for the wallet you're using after you have saved your seed phrase. And another thing you need to look out for is the emails you receive. It's very important, because most wallets that have been compromised were not necessarily compromised. The entire system was not compromised, but users' wallets, individual wallets were compromised. And one of the most rampant technique that is being used to compromise users' wallets is what they call Ema Phishing. Okay, Ema Phishing is a situation whereby you receive an email from a supposed trusted, platform, asking you to maybe go and reset your password, or probably provide certain information about your account. All right. So I can give you an example with, let's say, GTB Bank, GTBbank.com, for example. So what will happen is, if you didn't look at the URL very well, it might not be spelled as GT Bank. Okay, so instead of it spelled as GTBANK, it could have been spelled as GTBO. So instead of an A, you see an O, NK. So you, because you're not careful, all right, you put in your information, because they'll clone exactly GTB Bank, and you put your information in that website thinking that you are actually supplying GTB, your normal username and password. In that way, the hackers and those terrible guys, they get your information and cannot access your wallet and steal your money. So please be mindful of links that you receive from emails, okay, more especially from your wallet providers. So if you're using any wallet provider and they send you links, be sure that those links, okay, you look at it carefully, you look at the URL, okay, and be sure that, okay, this is actually coming from them. In situations whereby you're not comfortable, you can chat their support directly from their website. All right. Some wallets right now are actually adopting a new strategy. It's called an anti-phishing email, where you set a certain code such that every time an email comes from that particular platform, it comes with a certain code. So if it doesn't come with the correct code, you assume that that's the wrong email. So that's all I would like to talk about wallets for now, and I'll hand it over back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, you have shed a lot of light on wallets. So yeah, how does this particularly affect us? Because now we've gotten a little bit understanding of the technicalities, the foundation, and how we can benefit from it. But we kind of need to know a little bit more about the value, the opportunities that we can get from investing here. Why should I stop? Or maybe not stop, switch from stocks and, consider Bitcoin to be a viable option. So I'm just going to call on Ezekiel Ojewobin. He's going to talk about how can Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies add value to our lives. Sorry, before we do that, I'd like to plead with our participants to answer some of the questions in the Q&A box, because we might not be able to take all of it here. So anyone you can answer, please respond directly in the Q&A box. So I'll hand over to Ezekiel right now. Thank you.
Okay, hi. Hi, Rita, thanks for the introduction, and thank you everybody for taking out time. I don't know, so I think it's supposed to be an hour, 30-minute session. Thank you for taking an hour, 30 minutes to find out about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Now, just to touch on a couple of things that what a couple of people have said before is that, yeah, Bitcoin was created after the 2008 financial crisis, and then Ejioke has also been able to tell us some things about security around Bitcoin as well. But I think the focus a lot of times is that people tend to focus on Bitcoin as making money with Bitcoin, which is, oh, the price of Bitcoin is going to 10 million naira. I want to buy now, and so I can sell. While there is that, what is that option, which is all well and good, because you want to be able to see, everybody likes an opportunity to be able to make money, which is, I see Bitcoin today at about 8 million naira, and I want to be able to buy. And then if I know somehow it's going to get to 10 million, I go and sell at that price. So I've made a difference of 2 million. But the thing is, I'm also calling this million, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, I don't have 8 million naira to buy Bitcoin. I don't have 10 million naira to buy Bitcoin. The thing is this, you don't need to have a whole million or a whole 100,000 or something to buy Bitcoin. For instance, you can use 200 Naira to buy Bitcoin. Now, the thing is that when it doesn't seem to make sense here. One Bitcoin is 1 million Naira, and then you are buying 200 Naira. That doesn't seem to add up. But the thing is that just like how your Naira today has kobo, and the British pounds has pennies. You get Bitcoin also has its own version of kobo, or would I say pennies? Its own version is called Satoshi. You get so what you are buying in that case, the 200 Naira is like a 200 Naira worth of Satoshi. So when you add up Satoshis, they all make up Bitcoin. Basically, just like how 100 Bitcoin makes up 100 kobo makes up 1 Naira. Same thing. You get about. So Bitcoin is basically divided into 8 decimal places. So that's 0.0008 times you get, and that gives you what's a Satoshi. So if I mention million or 10 million or 20 million, don't worry yourself about that. You can actually start buying Bitcoin with about 200 Naira. Now, the focus of Bitcoin is on how does Bitcoin help you, which is very important to everybody. And at the bedrock of Bitcoin is that people want to be able to. Okay, so when Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin, the idea behind Bitcoin, and which is one of the core things Bitcoin solves, is that how can I send money from point A to point B without getting the banks involved? And how do I make it as simple and seamless as possible? Now, what Bitcoin does, and it does a very good job at it, is that if today you wanted to send money to someone in Kenya, for instance, you probably, first of all, you have to go to your bank and say, okay, I want to send money to your bank. It means you obviously have to deposit money in your bank. And then sometimes it probably take you, about 3 days to be able to send money from Nigeria to Kenya. And a number of times, especially for the African markets, when you're trying to send money within the African market, sometimes they send money outside of the African markets. And so basically, your money goes from Nigeria to the UK before it goes back to Kenya. So that probably takes about 3 days. However, with Bitcoin, what's Satoshi? So we don't know who Satoshi is. He might be a group of people, or it might be just one person. It's anonymous, yeah? What Satoshi tried to solve is this. I want to make it possible for Loretta in Nigeria to be able to send money to her friend in Kenya. And that's what Bitcoin basically does. At the foundation of it, that's what it is. So if today Loretta wants to send money to her friend in Kenya, all she has to do is buy Bitcoin and send to her friend in Kenya. And that person receives that transaction in 30 minutes or less. Yeah, there are other complications as to why it might not get to within 30 minutes. But I don't know if I want to go into the, what's it called, into technicalities, yeah, because there's quite a lot about Bitcoin, just like there's quite a lot about any financial system. But as I said, the basic of it, if there's anything you give here today, just remember that Bitcoin was created to solve one simple problem. How can I send money from one place to the other as quickly and as easy as possible? And that's what Satoshi taught about, and that's what Bitcoin solves. Now, behind all of that, we now begin to see one, okay, since he's been able to solve the problem of being able to send money from one place to the other. The second question people ask is, okay, how you can use what Bitcoin helps you is that it can also help payments. So if I had a store today, so let's say Orumide, for instance, Orumide is trying to sell something to some guy in Spain, you get, and if he wants to sell something to the person, before he receives payment, the person will use their card and all, and sometimes, so the money is deducted from the guy in Spain, it's deducted from the guy's account almost immediately, yeah, but the fact is that Orumide will not get that money until about, 2 days, sometimes even 2 weeks, until the person has confirmed that he has received the item that Orumide sold to him. Bitcoin helps to solve that kind of problem. The Orumide's customer in Spain simply just buys Bitcoin, sends Orumide Bitcoin, and Orumide has received money there and then within 30 minutes and decides to ship that item or maybe the service or execute that service to his friend in Spain. Okay, so that's one way. So from a business point of view, that's what Bitcoin helps people to do. And even as a person, you get, just like you can use your different payment services to receive money from your friends and your customers, you can use Bitcoin for that, especially for international transaction. That's where Bitcoin does a very good job at solving. So that's like the second point, which at the end of the day is built on the first point, which is enabling people to be able to send and receive money as quickly and as simple as possible. That's the foundation of it. So as I said again, if there's anything you want to take out from this call, just remember at the foundation of Bitcoin and most other cryptocurrency is how can you send and receive money as quickly and simple as possible. And that's what Bitcoin is. Then obviously, which is the key part I need to talk about is two things. One, alternative assets, traders, and inflationary hedge. One, alternative assets. Today, so if you find out that, let's say for instance, you found out that Facebook in 2014, the price of one share or shares in Facebook was about $70. Today is about $250. So let's go back, you were in 2014. Yeah? Let's go back, let's rewind now. Let's imagine now you're in 2014 and you have the foreknowledge that Facebook is going to be what it is today, which is that Facebook shares is worth $240, and at that time it's $70. Would it not make sense at that point in time to buy those shares and keep to probably sell in 2021 when it's $240? That's what people tend to do with Bitcoin. Because what's happening with Bitcoin is this. At the moment, just about maybe 5%, if not less than that, of the world today use Bitcoin for transactions. What would happen if 30% of the world starts using Bitcoin for their transactions? It means there's more demand for Bitcoin. So a lot more people are looking for Bitcoin and they need Bitcoin for their transactions. So they want to send money, they want to make payments and a bunch of other things, yeah, but they need Bitcoin. And what would happen is that when there's not enough of something, the price tends to go up. Let's look at the fuel prices that we used to have back in December. I don't think, thankfully, we've not had one for quite a while. But back in December, there used to be maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. In December, we would always know that when it's December time, there would be a fuel scarcity. And what that means is that when you're trying to buy fuel, on a normal day, fuel is probably what? 420 naira. I don't know. I don't buy fuel often, but let's say fuel is about 420 naira for 1 liter of fuel. Yeah. And you go during that time when there's scarcity, the fuel price reduces to about 450 or 500 because there's not enough of it and there's a demand, an increasing demand for it. Same thing for Bitcoin. In a couple of years, which is what we saw last year, is that there's an increasing demand for Bitcoin because people are seeing that, wow, instead of having to go through the bank system of sending money, I could easily just have bought Bitcoin and sent it to someone. And that's it, in 30 minutes, that's done. As opposed to using a normal bank transaction, using a normal bank and expecting the money to enter your account almost immediately. Now, that doesn't mean that, I'm not saying that banks will die. I'm simply saying that what would happen is that we see a case where banks and Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies would work together to be able to make our financial system more effective for people. So what we have today, for instance, for some people can say Bitcoin is the backbone for all the new technology that is to come. What that means is that if today your bank wants to send, or maybe you use Western Union wants to send money, wants to help you send money, they don't have to use the current system they are using. They're going to build a system based off Bitcoin. So what would happen is they are buying Naira with your Bitcoin, and immediately it's send that Bitcoin to wherever it is in the world you want to, and convert that Bitcoin into the currency. So what that means is that you at no point have to touch Bitcoin. So it will be the backbone of what is being used, or what is being used to create a better financial system. And that's all, at the end of the day, that is the goal that Satoshi Nakamoto and all the other people that are trying to create cryptocurrencies tend to have. There are a lot of other cryptocurrencies, and let me just touch on maybe a couple of things. Just like how Bitcoin was created as a way to solve the problem of sending money from one place to the other. Other cryptocurrencies were created to solve one problem or the other. Just look at cryptocurrencies as companies. So today I start a company and I want to use that and I want to be able to solve a problem. So maybe for me, my own problems, I want to help farmers to be able to make the best of their harvest. So I create a company and I put investments to that and I provide solutions to them. That's the same way how different cryptocurrencies were created. They are all created with different objectives. For some is, okay, I want to make it, for some they have a remittance. For some it is about building apps on top. So Ethereum, for instance, is that, okay, they want to be able to help people build apps. So that apps could be loan apps, so way to go savings apps, and a number of other cryptocurrencies even are built on Ethereum. So Ethereum thought about this. Oh, is it possible for me to be able to build if you're a developer, yeah, you would say, is it possible for you to be able to use I think JavaScript to be able to build a website or something? Do you get? Ethereum is something like that. Ethereum is basically just the foundation in which other apps can be built on, or more like the App Store. Think of Ethereum like the App Store, your Play Store. You get it? Created the Ethereum with the objective. Okay, while people can use Ethereum to send money, you also want to use Ethereum to be able to build apps on top, build other apps that you want to do stuff with. That's mostly it. There are a bunch of other things in cryptocurrency, and I don't want. I think I would always recommend to people that you do your own research and find out what it is you want to do, because almost like a financial system today, because there's a lot to learn about even how your Naira works. And before that, you want to understand and do a lot of research. It works the same. It works the same way as well. Yeah, you need to do a lot of research before you buy Bitcoin. And it's even not just about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. Before you buy stocks, before you buy mutual funds, before you invest in any of these new agricultural investments, do your research and find out what is this thing I'm about to invest in. Yeah, and one of the things that's important is notice that you may not want to put all your eggs in one basket, or better still, you want to manage your risk. So me today, while while Mohammed was talking about how a lot of us are heavily invested in Bitcoin, yeah, a lot of us are heavily invested in Bitcoin, but some of us have different risk appetites. So for me, yeah, I probably wouldn't invest more than 10% of my total assets in Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, because there are other assets I can invest in, and I want to be able to ensure that no matter what happens to the price of Bitcoin, any other cryptocurrency, I am to some extent safe. So what is important to you is decide how much do you want to invest in and what percentage of the total assets you want to invest in. If you are willing to take the risk of putting 100%, and I would never recommend anybody putting 100% of their money into Bitcoin, that's fine, but always be careful of the risk that Bitcoin today can drop from $20,000 to $15,000 in 30 minutes or less. So yeah, that's basically it. And I'll try to answer questions that people have in. Thank you very much, Loretta, and I apologize for taking more time than I was supposed to.
No, thank you so much, Ezekiel. You have touched on a lot of things as well. Yeah, looking at other cryptocurrencies beyond Bitcoin, we've all heard about Bitcoin. Personally, I mean, I'm a finance person, so I would not invest when the price is that high. So what are the alternative coins? Mohammed said there are over 6,000 of them. What are the alternative coins that we can invest in? So I'm going to, at this point, ask 𝗧𝗢𝗘𝗠𝗘, what are the other digital assets? How do they work? What are the ones we should probably have our eyes on? And just briefly, 3 minutes, let us know some other coins. And then Olumide afterwards can explain to us why Nigerians are really jumping on this. Yeah. Hi, 𝗧𝗢𝗘.
Really nice to be here. Thank you for organizing this. Just going to go ahead and answer what are the other things that people can invest in. So the DeFi space is blowing up recently, and it's a place where tons of, millions of dollars have been poured into it. To break decentralized finance down for those that don't already know what it is, it's basically decentralized markets. You already have centralized markets like this New York Stock Exchange, the Nigerian Stock Exchange. These are all centralized markets. In a decentralized finance world, you're having decentralized markets for things like liquidity, for decentralized exchanges, or for lending and borrowing protocols. So if you were to say invest in a decentralized protocol, you could be guaranteed roughly 14% of your capital on a monthly basis, way much higher than what your Nigerian banks or any bank in the world would give you. Which is why, like I said, a ton of people are flocking to converting their assets from fiat to crypto, so they can earn these returns passively. And that's the key part. Very passively. You don't have to trade. You don't have to watch markets all the time. You just take your money and you put it into these protocols, and they make money for you while you're asleep. thinking about other coins, if I'm permitted to promote Polkadot right here, Polkadot, for instance, is a really, really great blockchain that I think has the potential to truly, truly revolutionize the blockchain space. So for those of us who have not heard of Polkadot, it's basically a blockchain of blockchains. It's a blockchain that's designed to connect all the other blockchains together. Say you had an app on Ethereum, but then you had Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. There's no way for these two things to interact, right? But say you wanted to take your Bitcoin to provide liquidity to a decentralized exchange and then earn interests on your Bitcoin. There would be no way to do this in the current state of the market. But when Polkadot comes into play, it allows you to move your assets cross-chain. That's mind-blowing, right? And that's what I work on a daily basis, and that's the kind of future that we're trying to achieve. So yeah, check out the Polkadot ecosystem. There are tons of cross-chain products that are coming up that I feel like will push this whole blockchain industry to the next level. Loretta, you can take over.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, that was a very brief explanation. I'll definitely check out Polkadot and see what it's like. But yeah, Olumide, I've been hearing and seeing and reading that Nigeria is like the second country that's really jumping on cryptos and Bitcoin. So what's kind of the first? Why are Nigerians so obsessed with it? And of course, globally, Nigerians adopting it, yeah.
Yeah, to take you back, Nigeria is not second. Nigeria is actually the first when it comes to Bitcoin interest, and Nigeria has the highest amount of interest when it comes to the flagship crypto assets. And for prevailing reasons, there's so many reasons, but because of time, I'm going to break down the three major keys. Don't forget that Nigeria is home to about 200 million ambitious citizens, and we have the largest economy in Africa, and that's really pretty much produces so much transactions and economic activities. Then another reason is because you see most of Nigeria's population, out of that 200 million, about 40% have the demographics between 18 and 45, meaning that that population is pretty young, and you can see that a lot of Nigerians are tech savvy. So we're not surprised that a lot of Nigerians are really interested about cryptos and so much. Then going deeper, you realize that a lot of Nigerians have problem when it comes to financial transaction. You know, recently we found out that across board, states except Lagos have little exposure to having bank accounts prevailing in the south and the north, and that really pretty much reflects on how Bitcoin is being used. If you look at the case about the usage of Bitcoin in Nigeria, for example, Lagos, that happens to contribute about 40% of Nigeria's GDP, is not even the first 13. States like Delta, states like Ebonyi, states like Anambra, they are the one flying the list, and the reasons are really prevailing. Areas where security is becoming a growing concern, where people are afraid to go out and move a lot of money, people rather prefer to do that in their homes, and that is one of the reasons why you see that adoption. Another reason is that because many of the states don't have the sort of bank branches that you see in Lagos, and that pretty really reflects on why a lot of people prefer to use crypto. Another key process is that you understand the prevalent exchange stringent cash put by our monetary policyholders to cushion the naira, which to a certain degree has affected so many Nigerians, especially those that are trying to do businesses. I'll give an example. A few weeks ago, an hairdresser that was trying to move products from China, she sells wigs, all she just needed to do was to move through the crypto. She had to purchase through Bitcoin wallet, and the transaction took 30 minutes. So within a week, she got her product, and that would have been very difficult going through the bank. You understand, you have to fill Form A, Form B, and you know how long that would take from all those kinds of forms. So the complexity is that it reduces the bureaucracy process and the red tape bottlenecks. It makes the model very efficient. So Nigerians are started growing so much on that. Then don't forget that Nigeria also has one of the fastest growing fintech companies in the world. First of all, the most valuable fintech company in Africa is in Nigeria, and that's we're talking about InterSwitch. And if you look at other ones like Paystack, Futaway, they also have crypto blockchain fundamentals around them, and that's really pretty much showing that a lot of wealth has been created. Then another key important thing before I close down, that is wealth. back in the days, and those that were working in the oil industry and the bankers were in the traditional finance area were usually termed as the highest paid. But the narrative is not more the same. Some of these panelists here earn thousands of dollars monthly just on being part of the crypto exchange system. And that's to tell you that a lot of wealth has been generated. So Nigerians are really seeing that this is much more like, apart from investing in crypto, you can add value by just being part of the ecosystem. And you don't necessarily need to understand investing in crypto. Like the other panelists have said, you can be part of the ecosystem by understanding the validation of Bitcoin, by the logistics, understanding the blockchain technology, the crypto analysis, and what makes this price move and things like that. And there's so much demand for this kind of jobs. In fact, it's believed to say that the biggest bank and the most valuable bank in America, for example, is going to apply 10% of its labor force on blockchain. And we're going to see that trend moving to Nigeria because don't forget that Nigerian banking industry is one of the most efficient in sub-Saharan economy. So we're seeing that side. So I've said that a lot of Nigerians are moving towards that area and seeing their colleagues earning such amount of money where the cost of living is so low. You understand why the bias is that a lot of Nigerians are moving. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I just want us to move quickly, since we're running out of time, let's move quickly to blockchain. Okay, I've heard so much about blockchain, but I have absolutely no idea what it's about. So Sean, we're just going to take it back to you a little bit. What is blockchain? Who does blockchain work? What does it stand for, basically?
Okay, so first understand what blockchains are. First, I think you should understand what centralized systems are and the problem blockchains are trying to solve when they were conceived. So we have all these different banking institutions all over the world, and money transfers between them take days. This is a known fact. But then these banking systems are entirely digital, right? They're entirely digital. You can send a message from here to someone in New York, and they will get that message like instantly. For some reason, one couldn't be sent as instantaneously as that. There had to be checks and balances, to avoid double spending, to also ensure that whoever is spending money has the money to spend. And these inefficiencies in the financial system is what drove whoever Satoshi Nakamoto was, or whoever the team was, because in the blockchain space, people like to believe that it was a team that came up with the idea rather than one person. The code is massive, by the way, for the Bitcoin network. It couldn't have been written by one person. So what blockchains, in a sense, do is that instead of having a centralized server, a centralized point for money, everyone actually should have a copy of everybody's money. Let me make an analogy in the sense that, say we're all on this call, Olumide, you, Loretta, Ekene as well. Say we wanted to sort of do away with cash and we wanted to like settle in between ourselves how much we had. We're going out, for instance, and we didn't want to have to carry cash. One person would pay for everything, but then one person would also hold the ledger balances for what everyone was spending. Now, there are instantly a lot of problems with that. For instance, the major problem is what happens when this person, is no longer available, which happens a lot. We saw names going down yesterday, and nobody had access to their money. That's ridiculous. Secondly, what happens when the person holding our balances decides to say, hey, okay, now I have $1 million. We can't do anything about that, right? Because we've given them custody of our balances. But if we were to convert this system into a decentralized system, every single person would hold the ledger of every single person in our group. So if I wanted to send money to Loretta, I would say, hey, everyone, I'm sending money to Loretta. And everybody in the group would write that down on their balance that, okay, yes, money has transferred to Loretta. Whereas the centralized system is, I would have to come to Loretta, who was holding our balances, and say, hey, please, I would like to send money to Ekene. And then there's also like the part where you could deny my request, right? Because that's another thing that blockchains try to circumvent, censorship. If for some reason Loretta and I were not in good terms, she could say, hey, I don't want you to spend money, wallow in depression. But then blockchains blockchains sort of circumvent that because everybody owns the balances. No one can prevent anyone from spending money. We've seen this tons of times. I mean, imagine when the 𝗧𝗢𝗘𝗠𝗘s protests were sort of grinding to a halt and the government was clamping down on the bank accounts of people who had been supporting the cause actively, grinding their passports. Blockchains also remove censorship because, like I said, they are now decentralized. Everyone has a copy. There is no way for any one person to take control of the network. And then they do this using cryptography. Now, I'm not going to dive really deeply into what cryptography is, but just know that there is some way in software that you can prove that a person is who they say they are using cryptographic signatures. So, to prevent impersonation, to prevent, double spending as well, I would sign a message saying, hey, everyone, I want to spend some money, and everyone would verify the signature attached with that message to prove that, I'm the person behind this message, and that this signature is valid because everyone knows my signature. So blockchains, like I said, they combine two things: cryptography, decentralized networks, to create, a new financial future for everybody. Hopefully that was very concise. If you have any questions, feel free to ask while this session is still going on. I'd be happy to answer.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we still have a few things to talk about, but I feel since we're running out of time, how about we just head on to the Q&A session. So if there are specific things that we haven't touched on yet, you can just type it in the Q&A box. Meanwhile, I would transfer to Olumide Adesina so he can handle the Q&A session.
Okay, thanks guys. Thanks Loretta. Nice one. I can see a lot of people actively involved in the session, and there's so many questions, but I tried answering some, and some I would like to ask the panelists to mention, especially the fundamentals. For example, somebody is asking what altcoins are. What because they've been hearing altcoins. What basically are altcoins? So Mamo or Ezekiel can answer that question.
Okay, I think maybe I'll just, altcoins are, sorry if you don't mind, Mohammed, let me just, altcoins are basically any other cryptocurrency that is not Bitcoin is an altcoin. So when first Bitcoin came out, they said, okay, this is Bitcoin is recognized. So any other coin, basically from XRP to Ethereum to Dash, any other coin that is not Bitcoin is called an altcoin. So they put them in that category because we feel Bitcoin is like the god of everyone, so it's like respected and it's recognized and all that. So now categorize everything else under altcoin. So almost like as I sort of mentioned before, each cryptocurrency, or in this case, we don't call them cryptocurrencies, but most times just for short, you call them coins. Yeah. Each coin basically has a solution. Was created to solve a problem. So a number of these altcoins were created to solve one problem or the other. For Ethereum, as I mentioned, they're built as a system to build order. So for instance, the founder of Bitcoin, so for Ethereum, was also a developer for Bitcoin at some points. Then he moved on to develop Ethereum because he felt, okay, what Bitcoin has done is fantastic, but there's still more that Bitcoin can do. Then he went ahead to develop Ethereum. And Ethereum, for instance, was built to be able to create, one, enable other cryptocurrencies to be built on it. Two, it has a functionality called smart contracts. One of the pioneers already mentioned that. Yeah, Kenny already mentioned sort of what a smart contract is. And it has a bunch of other features, basically. But what you just need to know is each altcoin, think about each altcoin as a company. And that company was created to solve one problem or the other. That would help you to understand what the altcoins are, and then that would help you decide whether or not those altcoins make sense to invest in.
Yeah, thanks Ezekiel. Thanks very much. That was very enlightening. Yeah, so I think that pretty handles that. Mamu, coming back to you, we didn't talk about a very key crypto asset, that's stable coins. You understand, a lot of people, in fact, pretty much use stable coins, and I get to hear that some are still really asking what stable coins are. Although if you are an avid reader of Nairametrics, you understand what stable coins are, but just for record purposes, Mamu, I'd like you to explain what stable coins are and give examples. Please be as brief as possible. Thank you.
Hello, Lumide. Yeah, so basically what stable coins are, they are just cryptocurrency that are not subject to volatility. We have examples such as USDT, the USDC, we have the BUSD as well. The USDT, USDC, and the BUSD, they are backed by the United States dollars. So before you can create a cryptocurrency, before you can create a stable coin, you have to back it up by something. So if I want to issue out one USDT now, I have to have $1 US in the bank that is backing up that one USDT that I'm creating. You can't just mint out money out of thin air for people to be buying. So for the stable coin, we have some that are backed by gold, like the Sanu gold. Now we have some stable coin that are backed by euro, by pounds, and the likes. So the main essence of buying stable coin is just for you to keep your asset and not to be subject to volatility. So for example, now, like as at January 2020, Naira to USD was around 360, 357 thereabouts. But as the coronavirus and pandemic was coming up, a lot of people knew that Naira is going to be very, very volatile and is going to lose its value. But most people don't have access to the dollars and the bank. If you go to the bank is going to tell you that they can't give you dollars and there's a policy from the CBN, blah, blah, blah. You can just go to any exchange and just convert your Naira to any stable coin of your choice. You can convert it to the one backed by maybe the United States dollars now, such as the BUSD, the USDT, or the USDC. Or you can convert it to any stable coin that is backed by maybe the euro or the pounds, or even precious metals or precious stones like gold, diamonds, and the likes. So that's basically what a stable coin is.
Okay, one more question, Mamu, going back to you, because I can see about 7 people asking those questions. You mentioned coins you can use for book flights and vacations, and I can see about 10 people asking me the same question, but I wanted you to answer. So people are asking what kind of cryptos can you use for booking flights and vacation. So I prefer you to answer that too.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to, the most common one presently is the crypto.com coin. That's a CRO coin. You can just go to booking.com, and as long as you have your crypto.com account, you can just use your CRO to book for accommodation in any part of the world you are going to.
Oh, thanks very much. Thanks very much. Yeah, I think we can still take 2 questions before I hand over back to Loretta. Okay, I want you to talk about the challenges you think the crypto industry is going to have in Africa, especially the prevailing regulation concerns that is growing. You can see that some days ago, the ECB was, the European Central Bank Governor, Lagarde, was complaining about the fact that Bitcoin was gaining so in the capital market. And also the Bank of Settlement head, Carlson, was saying that Bitcoin should be given that such power. And based on that prevailing rate, and you can see the number of Africans adopting Bitcoin, what hope do you think crypto regulation can play and the effects in Africa especially?
Thank you very much, Olumide. I'll start by saying that I'm going to speak based on my opinion, and my opinion is not final on this, but it's coming from my understanding and conversations and reading. Now, contrary to what most enthusiasts, crypto enthusiasts will say, that, oh, crypto is there to destroy the bank, crypto is there, they're always fighting the banks, fighting the government. And I tell you guys the truth is that crypto cannot get into the mainstream by fighting the banks or fighting the government, which is the truth. This is reality. So, I mean, like I said, I'm speaking from my opinion, because talk about animosity, talk about, decentralization and likes. There's still a place where government has to play. There are roles government has to play. Okay, there are roles where the bank still needs to play, okay, to make this work. So for me, I'm rather looking at than it being a combat between two teams, okay, for us to see success in this, but it should rather be a collaboration. So I'm calling on all my colleagues, my enthusiasts like me, to start looking at ways and engaging conversations with government, with the banks, with institutions, on how, we can find common ground on how we can collaborate. All right, because there are still issues that crypto has not been able to kind of solve, perfectly. All right, issues that the government has also been able to solve perfectly. So if you look at it in both ends, okay, we need one another. All right. There's been a lot of schemes out there that have been going on with people's money because of the fact that crypto is seen as a speculatory vehicle where you can call money will grow or give you 2% every day and all of those things, and more people see it like, oh wow, crypto is bad now because I invested into Bitcoin. They promised me something and I didn't get it back. Bitcoin is bad. Well, Bitcoin is just a medium of exchange. I mean, you can do business with a dubious person, and what you guys agreed as the medium of exchange is Naira. And the person doesn't pay you what is due you. You can't say Naira is bad. All right. Most of those people, why they use Bitcoin is because it's more difficult to trace them or track them. Okay. And that's why they use Bitcoin. All right. So I see that if we really want to see fast adoption, if we want to see fast progress in the crypto space, we must start seeing how we can collaborate with institutions and the government. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice one. Before I hand over to Loretta, I would basically want you guys, especially our sponsors, to talk about just to give listeners a view of what some of you guys do in the crypto verse, especially our sponsors. I would like to start with Ezekiel briefly in 2 minutes what Quidax does and how the listeners can benefit. If I go to video, okay. Ezekiel, over to you.
Okay, hi, Orimbe. Sorry, I was having a small issue with my camera. Okay, so Quidax is a cryptocurrency exchange. We basically enable people to be able to buy and sell Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So think of us like, or basically think of a crypto exchange like a bank. So you want to be able to, what a bank does is that you're able to save money and send Naira from one place to the other. In this case, what a cryptocurrency exchange like Quidax helps you to do is to be able to buy cryptocurrencies, receive cryptocurrencies, and send cryptocurrencies. That's what we enable people to do. So today, if you sign up on Quidax, you can go ahead and sign up, and you can be able to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, the USDT stable coin, for instance, and Dash. We have about 6 different cryptocurrencies you can buy on Quidax today. And so if you're also a experienced trader as well, we have the order book exchange, which can also use to be able to trade as well. Then for a couple of people that are developers and want to be able to build cryptocurrency services, we offer an API that enables you to build services of crypto. So imagine today you want to offer a remittance service. And basically you want people to be able to buy and to be able to send and receive from one place to the other without touching Bitcoin. Our API enables people to build something like that. We already have about 4 or 5 companies that are currently using our API as well. So at the basically think of almost Quidax as a bank. We're able to buy, sell, send, and receive Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. I don't know, Ogumide, if I have some time to be able to take people through
no, we don't
the screen.
Okay,
I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So that's more or less, that's basically what Quidax does. And we have a bit of a, for anybody that signs up, if you sign up within the past 5 days on Quidax and from today, we have a promo code of 1,000 Naira. So if you sign up on Quidax today, you could use a promo code called Nairametrics, and you get 1,000 Naira to be able to it doesn't have to play around to basically test what Bitcoin is, buy your first Satoshi bits of Bitcoin, and any other cryptocurrency that you feel that you want to play around with. So you just use the promo code Nairametrics. So just go to quidax.com, sign up, and put in the promo code section, just put Nairametrics, N in caps, and you get 1,000 Naira soon. Have fun.
Wow, that's splendid. Wow, thanks. Yeah, that's cool. So listeners out there, you can see one of the advantage of attending this program. You have the gift card from Ezekiel. Yeah, that's a good one. Mijuke, do you have something to say about B2?
All right, thank you very much. I will do this in just 2 minutes. I will just share our Instagram page so that you can just join us right now. Follow us on our Instagram page. I hope you can see our Instagram page right now. So what B2 is doing is simple. B2 is giving you the opportunity to own your exchange, where you can now go into the business of buying and selling Bitcoin, okay, by just signing up as a merchant of B2. So as a merchant of B2, you can buy unlimited amount of Bitcoin from anybody, and you can sell unlimited amount of Bitcoin to anybody. And guess what? The good thing about it is that you don't need cash or experience to start this business. Once you get started, B2 will be the one always providing the cash and always providing the Bitcoin at every point in time. But the good thing here is this: your customers will never know about B2, number one. And number two, you are the one that determine how much you want to make per transaction. So what that means is that your B2 does not pay you commission, because we're actually giving you access to create a business. So you determine and say, okay, this is how much Naira I want to make for every dollar exchange. So if you choose, say you want to make 10 Naira for every dollar, it means that for every $1,000 worth of transaction that is done on your website or done through your widget, all right, you'll get 10 Naira on every dollar. So you determine your profit, okay, you want to make, and you do everything by yourself. So what I'll just tell you is that just follow us right now on get_Bido. All right, this is the website, bido.com. It's a very exciting project. And I'll end by saying this: B2 is not here to give you an income. B2 is here to give you an extra stream of income. That's the only way to escape poverty. And we're doing this through an idea called shared prosperity. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Yeah, thanks so much. That's a lovely presentation there. Yeah, there's so much questions, and because of time, and we are keeping to blockchain rules, I'll show you guys that you can, whatever question you have for the panelists or me or the platform, just follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Are pretty much available throughout today, and I'll show you that answer your questions. Just click on the button and keep reading the articles. You see, one of the things you need to understand is that the crypto revolution doesn't just stop about listening. It keeps you have to keep the momentum on by reading our articles, and we do so much analysis and updates on what is really trending. And trust me, some of our readers here that I can see have already started printing things. So I'll hand over to Loretta to close the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have learned so much, and if you have stayed this far, thank you. I'm sure you've also learned so much. Like Olumide said, if you still have questions, you can send them to Nairametrics on Instagram or Twitter. You can ask us on Twitter, really, and then your questions will be answered. Once again, I would like to thank you guys for attending. We'll now understand you guys. I also want to thank our panelists. Thank you so much for taking out of your time to answer our questions and shed insights into cryptocurrencies. Yes, I also thank our partners, Quidax and B2. Thank you. So I'm going to draw this session to a close. Hopefully there will be more of it, yes, and we'll shed more light into the world of cryptocurrencies. So thank you guys. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.